Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about Binance Coin and providing a market analysis, which is getting very close to its all-time high valuation with respect to Bitcoin. So if you enjoy the content, please do consider leaving a like and subscribing. So this is once again the Bnb Bitcoin ratio, where we're really just looking at the opportunity cost between holding Binance Coin with respect to Bitcoin and how these assets are performing against each other. So as you can see, Binance Coin is getting very close to its new all-time high against Bitcoin and nearing the range highs of this massive consolidation phase. So we've essentially been oscillating between the range low at 0.0067 and the range high at 0.012 for the last 470 days. So a very long time to be consolidating within this range, and we're getting very close to the top of this range. Now, as of right now, this is still strong resistance. We can see rejections at this level, and it still is going to be strong resistance. But if we can break above this and start to flip it into support, that is going to be a very bullish and positive sign. So essentially what that would look like is if we're starting to come back above this level at, again, 0.012, come back down, hold it as support, consolidate, and then from there, this is the sign, this is the confirmation that I'm really looking for to get extremely bullish on Binance Coin. And essentially, if I zoom all the way out, we've just been in this longer term uptrend since January of 2021. So to me, it would just look like a continuation where we have the big expansion phase, the consolidation and the accumulation, and then a continuation of the trend. So that's what I'm looking out for. Again, it's not confirmed yet. We have not broken out yet. This is still resistance as of this moment. But if we can break out and we can see it hold as support, then I'm going to get very excited on Binance Coin, and I think that's going to bring a lot of strength back to the BNB USD pair. So again, this is the ratio against Bitcoin, and essentially what that would mean is Binance Coin would outperform Bitcoin and have a lot of relative strength against the rest of the market. So if we go over here to the Binance Coin USD chart, we can see, again, it's still down quite significantly from its all-time high, but currently we're holding the lows, and a lot of altcoins actually are not holding their lows. In fact, where Binance Coin again is having a lot of strength with the rest of the market, a lot of that relative strength, and we're starting to see how we could potentially be forming some sort of new uptrend with a current set of higher lows in place, higher highs, which is a positive sign. But again, if we're starting to see the Bnb Bitcoin ratio break out here, reclaim and hold above the range high at 0.012, that is going to be an extremely bullish and positive sign. Now, this all gets mitigated though if we're starting to break out and then we're starting to either hold the resistance off this or form some sort of deviation. So what each of those would look like, again, if we're holding resistance, it would just come up, reject off this, and then come back down. So that's kind of the main case of resistance where, we've already rejected off that twice. We could be seeing something similar and then targeting back down to the mid-range, and then from there we could wait and see. The other scenario is if we start to deviate above this, which is a pretty common pattern in crypto where, you just have failed breakouts all the time with a lot of patterns here. And one of the most notable case studies is the Bitcoin breakout in November, which I'm going to switch over here. It's essentially the same thing where we had the all-time high at 65K and then we failed to break out and we formed yet another deviation. So this is kind of the pattern that would sort of invalidate this thesis where I would at this point say if we get back into the range after having broken out, then I would say, okay, it's a failed pattern, it's a failed breakout, this is no longer bullish, and we just have a bit more consolidation and ranging to go before I really start to get excited again on the BNB Bitcoin ratio. And also, it is important to note that we've basically been consolidating for essentially 470 days. So it's probably more fitting to look at this on, say, a weekly time frame where we can really start to say, all right, well, we're probably going to be experiencing this to play out over a longer time frame than, say, the daily chart, where a breakout would be significant, but it could take several weeks to retest and see that confirmation that I talked about earlier. Now, in general, people like to point towards the fact that we're in the middle of a bear market. Bitcoin is down significantly from its all-time high. It's below the 200-week average, and overall sentiment is really bad right now. So that means altcoins can't break out. But, I would generally agree with that, and I would say that 99% of altcoins are not going to be doing well under these market conditions. They're not going to be breaking out of their all-time highs until Bitcoin has definitively regained its momentum to the upside. And, I would agree with that in general, but I do want to look at one altcoin in the last bear market that actually did quite well as just just a case study of what can happen, even if it's only one altcoin out of, say, the top 100 or something. So if I go over here to the Bitcoin chart, we can see really in January and February 2019, we were just at these bear market lows. Bitcoin was at $3,500. It was a very bearish time, and the overall sentiment was pretty bad. And now I just want to switch over to an altcoin that actually did very well during this time frame. So I'm going to switch over to Chainlink, which if we go over here, we can see in January and February of 2019, it actually broke out here, formed a new all-time high on the Chainlink Bitcoin ratio, and started this longer term uptrend. And you can see again, it was a several week long pattern which took a while to develop. We had a retest going back into the range, but we quickly reclaimed it. And what I'm just doing here is going over a case study where we've seen in prior bear market conditions, altcoins can perform well. Not the majority of altcoins, certainly. A lot of the altcoins today are down, 80% against their Bitcoin ratio, but there can be a few that can actually perform well. And I think BNB could be one of those altcoins that has some sort of hope of breaking out here and maybe a trend continuation of over this longer term, perspective. But I think that you have to give it some time. Obviously, we need further confirmation. I'm not calling for a breakout and a continuation. I'm saying that if we get a breakout, confirmation, retest, then I'm calling for a continuation. So a lot of things obviously have to develop before we can get really excited on this, but I'm just calling it here on the channel so that you guys can be aware that we might be seeing a breakout very soon here. Again, we're only 5% below this level, 5-6%, so it's getting very close here. And there is a scenario in the prior bear markets where we've seen altcoins perform well. Again, there's not many that do. A lot of them continue to bleed, and some of them never even recover. But there is instances where we have altcoins that can perform well during these conditions, and that's just kind of countering to the argument that altcoins can't do well in a bear market. So I hope you guys did enjoy this analysis on Binance Coin. If you guys have any comments, suggestions, or feedback, please do leave those below. And as always, I will see you in the next one.